Hello world, and welcome to the Mecca of Mastery TV. I am your host Mecca. If it is your mission to become the greatest version of yourself in every area of life, then you're in the right place. And today we have a special guest. We have Marielle on the show. So Marielle is a qualified nutritionist who is passionate about helping people to love their relationship they have with their body, mind, and diet. After graduating from King's College in London, UK, Marielle then went on to an adventure in Cape Town, Africa, working in the public health realm. She carries out her mission in teaching others how to develop sustainable and positive ways of eating that is neither restrictive or, you ready for this? Or, are you ready for this? Or, are you ready for this? Prescriptive. Because guess what? We live in a world where people run to the doctor. Whatever the doctors say, they want to put you on this drug, that drug, and we all know that's a billion-dollar industry. So I'm so excited to sit here with Marielle today. So how did you get into this business and why did you start?
So nutrition or
Yes.
my own sort of brand of whole?
So the nutrition first and then the whole.
Nutrition has been an interest and passion of mine since quite a young age, maybe about the age of 13.
Yes.
And I feel actually quite lucky in that passion never changed. So when you're in
Yes.
high school and you develop all these different interests, you might want to do one thing and then end up doing another.
Yeah.
That actually never changed for me.
Okay.
I was always really interested in nutrition and well-being, and also growing up in South Africa.
Yes.
Fully Scottish, but spent most of my life in Cape Town.
That's so amazing.
You are exposed to a huge amount of poverty and malnutrition, and I was really interested in public health policies around sort of access to food and maternal health and child health. And that never changed. So I went on to pursue that at university. I actually wasn't accepted the first year. I applied, so I took your route and I applied again. So that required a bit of persistence, but I got there.
That's always the way.
Yeah. And so I finished my degree, spent a couple of years working, and now what I'm really passionate and why I sort of developed the brand of whole.
Okay.
I'm really passionate about linking in sort of mental health, physical health with what you eat.
Yes.
Having a healthy diet, being healthy, having good nutrition is not just about the food that you put in. You have to be happy with what you're eating,
Yes.
how you're eating, with your body, and that that relationship you have. So that's why I have started the journey of whole.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I was taking a look at, just going through your Instagram feed and just the way how you basically describe things and the approach you have towards like mental well-being as well with the food. It was just so amazing because everybody don't know where to start. Some people it's like, where do I start? How do I do certain things? So that's why I'm so excited about this today. So the next question I have for you is, just explain the importance of mindful eating and what it means to you.
Mindful eating. Okay, so I think mindful eating is when you feel quite positive about the food that you're having.
Okay.
You don't restrict yourself in terms of certain foods. No guilt either. So mindful eating isn't just about sort of sitting down and having a salad and being healthy.
Yes.
It's sitting down and having a salad because you really feel like that's what your body needs, or sitting down and having hot chocolate because that's what you feel your body needs.
Yes.
It's not necessarily about just having healthy foods and cutting things out. So I do practice intuitive eating when I work with people, and that involves a number of different aspects, but one of the principles is, for example, rejecting the diet mentality. So not being influenced by what you read in the media about the latest fads and the latest superfoods and all of that nonsense. And another principle is honouring your hunger. So really becoming in tune with your body's hunger cues, and there's actually 10 principles of intuitive eating.
You know what? That's amazing because I remember when I started like my health journey, I became obsessed with you know, rules. And I had so many restrictions, and it was no longer about how I felt. It was so much like, I need to make sure I'm eating this many salads. I need to make sure I have this much protein, this much this much that. And it was not enjoyable. So when you say mindful eating and you explain it that way, it makes me say, you know what, I see why I need to eat something, because that's what my body needs, because that's how I'm feeling at the moment.
Exactly. I mean, that sort of diet mentality, only eating foods that we perceive as healthy, can be, well, highly restrictive, and it's a really vicious cycle of eating healthy foods, feeling restricted, then feeling bad, and then eating something unhealthy, feeling even worse. And you know, it's a very vicious cycle. So it's amazing when you can develop that, you know, healthier outlook on food, and looking at food as something that's nourishing. And actually, you know what, sometimes a chocolate bar is really nourishing. Maybe it's not going to give you the same nutrition as you know, like a fruit salad with some yogurt, you know, but it's really being aware of what you need, and that doesn't just mean healthy food. Perfect. That makes sense.
So you guys, you see, it's not being, it's being aware of what you need. It's being aware of what you need and listening to your body, listening to your intuition. What is your body telling you? Now, this does not make it an excuse for you to go out and say, my body is telling me to eat a piece of chocolate cake every day, because you know that might get you. But listen to your body. You know, you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself when it comes to this. It should flow naturally. It should feel good, because you know, nutrition is good. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. You know what? Here's the thing. What is the deal with protein? What is the deal?
Okay, so protein, we're actually, we're seeing everywhere at the moment. I mean, first it was like the protein energy bottles, then it became protein ice cream, and recently I tried high protein coffee.
Yes.
And then
how was it?
Really not nice. It was first of all too sweet, because there was a load of sugar in it, and just gloopy, I guess. It's thick. Just not a nice
I know
coffee.
what you mean.
And then something else, can't remember. But yeah, we're seeing sort of protein being put into everything. It's not necessary. Protein is obviously incredibly important for our bodies, for muscle growth and repair, and a whole other bunch of things. But we don't need it in huge amounts, and there's actually only a certain amount that we can use at a meal, for example. So if you're exercising regularly, so I mean sort of high intensity exercise, more than 3 times a week, then your protein requirements will increase. And then it's really important, you're increasing your protein intake.
I see what you mean.
But if you are not doing any activity, or your exercise is quite light, or you're not sort of training for anything, you know, you really don't need as much protein as we are led to believe. And also, I think if you're on the go, grabbing like a protein smoothie or adding a protein powder to something you make, your porridge maybe, that can be very convenient. And if you are highly active, it is really important you get in that extra protein. But it doesn't need to be from supplements. It can be from whole food, you know. It could be from a tin of tuna. It can be from a few boiled eggs and a handful of nuts. It really doesn't have to come from expensive and what's the word I'm looking for? Bad tasting, how we say, protein powders, or some of them are actually quite nice. But so it's very individual, but don't feel like just because protein is put into everything, we actually need that, and we'll actually be using that, because at the end of the day, just as with any other food group, if you are taking more than you need, it's just going to be stored. We don't sort of just
balance.
We don't just get rid of the excess protein that we need.
I agree. So I have a question. Are you vegan? Are you vegetarian?
I am. I guess really I'm now pescatarian. I have been, or was vegetarian from the age of 13. And I started eating fish again probably about 4 years ago. but I don't eat it too often. Maybe once a week on average.
Okay, I see.
And I don't tolerate milk products very well. I have been vegan before. I was vegan for about a year, and I'd say most of the time, maybe 70% of my diet is vegan. And I have to be quite careful around milk products, so I use alternatives like soy milk and
Yes.
but I do eat fish, sustainably sourced fish, about once a week.
So you eat fish once a week.
Yeah.
Other than that, how are you getting? Let's see here, still protein. Your protein.
Okay, how do I get protein? Well, also we've got lots and lots of vegetarian and vegan sources of protein.
Yes.
So having a diet that includes lots of pulses, so beans, chickpeas, lentils, nuts and seeds, that's a great way to get in protein. And also things we might not typically think about, but bread, oats,
Yes.
they also, I can't say high in protein, but they do have some protein. So actually, if you had a meal, you made, let's say, a lentil curry and rice, that's actually quite a good high protein meal.
Okay.
And by combining, if you're vegetarian or vegan, largely vegan, shall we say, it's really important to combine protein sources.
Yes.
Animal protein is something we call complete protein. So we get all 9 essential amino acids from an animal source of protein. So dairy products or meat or fish.
Do you recommend people eating animal products?
I think that you can have a really healthy diet eating animal products. You can have a really healthy diet being vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan. You can thrive on any of those diets. And there is a lot of evidence to suggest that high meat consumption can have some negative health effects.
Okay.
So I would say, as with anything, having meat products in moderation. But dairy products can be a really, really nutritious and cheap source of nutrients. So I would say that unless you have really strong ethical views on animal treatment and cruelty, I would say there's no need for anyone to cut out animal products from their diet unless they feel that is something they really would like to do.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Some people, they're just like, I don't know if I should be eating animals, I don't know how I'm going to get my protein from these vegetables or anything else.
It's completely possible. It just takes a little bit of planning, I guess.
Yeah, creativity.
A little bit of creativity and a little bit of, I guess, knowing good sources of different minerals and other things that you find really, really easily in animal products. Yeah.
Perfect. So movement. Is there any specific type of movement that someone should engage in, and how would someone know that they're basically engaging in that right type of movement?
Okay, I like that you call it movement as opposed to exercise, actually, because I think exercise can seem really prescriptive and like a bit daunting. You're like, this has to do some exercise. Movement, I think it's really, the most important thing is doing something you enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, if we talk about sort of government guidelines and health guidelines, it is important to do some sort of movement that's increasing your heart rate, making you sweat a little bit, that sort of thing regularly. I would say never force yourself to do something you don't like. So for example, I used to really enjoy running. I used to love it. I haven't been doing it for a while. I've experienced some other things I enjoy more than I'm doing then. And if I were to try to force myself to go for a run now, I would put it off. I would really struggle to motivate myself to do it. And I feel like even though it's changing, we still often associate movement and exercise with going to the gym or going on the treadmill or doing a class that we don't like just for the sake of burning energy, calories. So I think the best thing that you can do in terms of movement is something you enjoy, and if you enjoy it, then that's the right one for you.
I see what you mean.
And if you don't like it, then don't force yourself to do it on a regular basis.
I know what you mean, because sometimes, when I would go to the gym, And I think to myself, I hate this treadmill. Like, it's so boring. But I thought to myself, like, well, I like dance class, and I'm getting the same, or probably more, you know, more of a benefit from moving around. It's something that I love, and the hour goes by so fast, and I don't even think about it because I'm actually engaging in what I love. So yeah, I agree with that. That's amazing. So what is your advice to someone who states that they can't afford to live a healthier lifestyle? Where should they actually begin?
Right. Well, I think it is good to acknowledge that being healthy, can actually be more expensive.
A little pricey.
It can be. And we were also led to believe by the media and platforms like Instagram that we have to have superfoods, and which actually don't exist, by the way. The concept of a superfood is nonsense.
I agree. And you have to shop at Whole Foods. I love Whole Foods though.
They have some nice things, but you know, we don't actually need products that we're constantly like in our face. We don't need them to be healthy. So that's one thing to be aware of. I think it can be expensive in terms of maybe not financially, but your time.
Yes.
It can be demanding of your time to be healthier on a lower budget. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know, you could go into Tesco's or Sainsbury's or whatever supermarket and you can get a ready meal for a few pounds. Maybe let's say £3, but with that £3 you could also get a bag of oats, a bag of lentils, some onions and ginger, a pint of milk, maybe a tin of fruit and something else for that same amount. But then you'd have to make something with those ingredients.
I see.
So it can be just a little bit more demanding of your time and your planning. Eating well can be really cheap. If you make use of store-covered essentials like pulses and dried beans, they're really cheap.
I see what you mean.
Tinned fruit, frozen fruit, they are just as nutritious.
Yeah,
but you don't see the magazines saying, "Oh, get these tinned peaches that are 29 pence." It's no, go for the avocados. It's £3.50 for a packet.
Why are avocados so expensive? Extra for guacamole. I'm like,
and you don't need the expensive products. You don't need the avocados. You can get healthy unsaturated fats from sunflower oil, which is so much cheaper, and something you'd be likely to use anyway. So it can be confusing. It can be media is misleading. So if you don't have access to sort of fresh produce, which is not even that essential to have lots of it, in terms of fruits and vegetables, make use of frozen fruit, frozen veggies, other sort of frozen things you can, stuff like that.
I see what you mean.
Tinned fruits, tinned pulses, they're just as nutritious and a fraction of the price. And then there's so many resources. There are so many resources online. For
when you search
cooking on a budget.
Okay.
So it's doable. It just demands a bit more time and a bit more planning.
Yeah. Creativity is everything. I once heard Tony Robbins say, "It's not that you don't have the resources. You're not being resourceful." You know, most of the things that we don't have in our life and that we wish we did have, it's not because we're actually lacking it. We are lacking the creativity, or we're lacking the time that we put into it for us to gain it in our lives. So be resourceful in that area. That's the best advice. So yeah, that's amazing.
And I mean, not all the time that's not possible.
Yeah.
You know, we can't sort of have everything planned out.
That's true. Yeah.
But if it's something that someone finds is feasible for them, and think, oh, actually I can spare 15 minutes on a Sunday night to make overnight oats for the next 4 days, then that's great. You can start by doing small things like that, and financially it does help a lot, but it does take that extra bit of thought.
What is one thing that you want people to know? This can be anything, life, health, anything.
One thing that I would like in terms of nutrition and health, I would say that you're not defined by what you eat.
Okay.
I think we have a huge problem in our society by defining what people are like, what their qualities are, what type of person they are.
Yes.
Even their outlook on life. We sort of make all these little judgments by what people choose to eat, which is really wrong and highly stigmatizing.
Yes.
And because I'm really passionate in terms of my nutrition, about intuitive eating and approaching food mindfully, I would say, if you want to go into a coffee shop and have full fat milk with your coffee and that makes you feel good, then that is okay. It doesn't mean that you are a bad person because you don't choose the almond milk that's got half the protein and there's 50 pence extra sort of thing. So we really put a huge emphasis on food and someone's worth from that.
I see.
And it's really shouldn't be like that.
I like that. So what is your favorite book today and why?
So my favorite book is, at the moment, I think would be There Was a Country by Chinua Achebe. He's a Nigerian author. He writes phenomenally well. Yes. And he has a wonderful ability to storytell. Yes. But get in history and politics and intricate relationships. He's a very good writer, and before I read his book, There Was a Country is really like a personal memoir of the Nigerian War. Post-independence from Britain. So it's really interesting, and I didn't really know much about it before I read them. And I guess you wouldn't think, I'm going to be learning a lot about history from reading this book, but very inspiring, very eye-opening, and he just writes so well. I'd really recommend checking out his literature. Another favourite is A Man of the People.
A Man of the People.
So
interesting.
Yes, those are my two favourites at the moment.
I love those type of books that basically they're like a story. They're not like a novel, but they have like a story, but it's so impactful in your life. You can actually learn from it, and it's something that you can apply to your own life. What is one piece of advice someone has given you that's impacted your life, and why?
One piece of advice, that would be one from my dad, actually. And that is, you make your own future. Might sound a little bit cliched, but whenever I had a decision to make from sort of teenage years, and I said, what do you think about this? I've got to decide on this. And his response would be, what do you think? Because you make your own future. Yes, I agree. So whether it was a decision for the next day or a week later, a month later, or next year, his response would be, that you're going to be in that future. It's not my future. It's yours. So that sort of influenced my decision making over the last several years. And it's a bit of motivation, but also reminding you that you really need to work hard to get the future you want and achieve the things you want to have in life. I
agree with that. I love that. It's like the choices that you make today will impact you tomorrow. Like there's a saying that also goes, do today what others will not, live tomorrow how others cannot. So if you want something for tomorrow to be different, that means you have to make a decision about that today. What are you going to do about it today? How are you going to go about that in which you want to result in tomorrow? Shout out to your dad for that. That's good parenting right there. Instead of saying, go and do this and go and do that. It's like, what do you want your future to be like? That's awesome.
That's something I think about often. So, that's great advice.
Explain what happiness means to you in one word.
Happiness, this is a tricky one. And again, this might sound a little bit cliche, but happiness for me is definitely, in one word, love. I don't just mean in a romantic sense or sort of love for your family, but love for yourself, love for what you do,
yes,
love for the things around you, and
yes,
the way you live your life. Yes. Love can extend to all of these things, and when you feel a love in your daily life for your job and for your living environment and the person you're with, that is what makes you happy.
That's so
or
true.
Unhappy.
That's so true.
And also extending to your beliefs. So really loving what you believe and what you stand for. So in one word, it would have to be love.
I love that. You often hear people, especially successful people, say to people who ask the question, you know, I need to make money, what should I do? You know, what should I embark on? What career? And the advice is always do what you love. Because if you do what you love, everything will fall in place. Always go after what you love. And I could add to this to say that when I started to become more conscious and, you know, break out of, you know, the shackles that was on me in my life and dysfunctional family, how I was raised. My thing is, I started to have love for things that was just so odd that I never even looked at, like a tree, or like a squirrel, or like just the clouds in the sky. And it made my life more fulfilled. You know, it made my purpose for living more vivid. I'm thinking, wow, I feel like I have a purpose to be here on this planet. Everything feels good. It feels so amazing. Love. I love that, guys. Love. That's amazing. So do you have like a spiritual practice or anything that you do to keep you more deeper connected with yourself or grounded in life?
So I really enjoy practicing yoga.
Yes.
And I do believe that you don't have to, you know, go to a 90-minute Bikram class to practice yoga.
And it can be so expensive. Oh.
Yeah, oh yes. It can be, I mean, literally, you've got a yoga mat or even a towel or a non-hard surface. Spend 10 minutes on the floor. You know, put a YouTube video on, whatever it is. It can be really relaxing, relieve a bit of stress.
Yes.
Also, it's just really nice to stretch after a long day. And
it's beautiful.
Yeah, you can really focus on yourself. In the same vein, I do like to meditate or do my own version of meditation, because being honest, I've never, not once to this day, apart from one occasion, actually, being able to really switch off from my thoughts. It's not something I regularly experience when I sit down to meditate. In fact, I don't really feel that, what's the word, blank or slowed down. I actually use it as an opportunity to process my thoughts.
Process the thoughts.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, because I think when you live in a big city, especially like London.
Yeah, guys. It's no playing here. You can barely even think when you get out. London is crazy.
You're constantly on the go. And you know, if you have a busy schedule, then you're actually processing and thinking about sometimes like really big issues or things you struggle with whilst you're doing a million other things.
Or while the train is delayed all the time. Southern Rail.
And that's exhausting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, someone changed my perspective of the way I looked at meditation recently when I said, well, I sit down and I try to meditate, but I never get that sort of blank feeling.
Yeah.
Where I never get that switched off feeling. You know, it feels nice to focus on myself and my thoughts, but it's not what I understand meditation is. And they said, well, that's exactly what meditation is for you then.
That is what it is, yes.
To process your thoughts, because when else do you give yourself that time during the day? So that's
give yourself that time.
Yeah, give yourself that time. And I don't believe it just has to be that. You know, if it's sitting down and having a coffee by yourself,
that's
spend
meditation.
5 minutes just giving yourself that time to have a coffee alone in the quiet. That can also be just as worthy.
Yeah, I agree. And to add to that, because you guys know, if you're a member of the family here at Mecca TV, that I am a fanatic about meditation. I'm crazy about it. But in a way that, how Marielle explained, that it's not really about silencing your mind, because really that's impossible. You know, when somebody says to me that there's no thoughts, This is my face. Really. So the thing is with meditation and why it has helped me, right, for example, is because I'm able to, like you said, process and see my thoughts. And when you can see and process them, then you can deal with them better. You're not afraid of them. It's like you're facing your challenges. You're facing yourself. And yeah, you're facing yourself in a sense. So it gives you more power and energy when the meditation is done. It's really being conscious of where you are and what you're doing. Like you said, if you're having a cup of coffee and you're meditating on that coffee, all your attention and your intention is in that moment. You're conscious of it. You're processing it. You're in the present. That's all meditation is. And in our life, especially in London, sometimes we're not in the present moment. Like you said, we're thinking, we're running, we're walking, we're on our phones, we're headed to the bus station or to the train. We're worried about this meeting. We're worried about this. We're worried about that. So it's really being conscious. And I love this interview today. It's so amazing. So Marielle, so how can we find you? How can we keep in contact with you? Just so we can just stay in your brain.
So you can find me on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's at Whole Mind Body Food, all together. So that's me on Instagram, and I've also got a website which is www.wholemindbodyfood.com. My website is going to get an update. I'm going to start doing posts more regularly on that. I've got an article I'm going to release next week on protein actually, so if you enjoyed the discussion on protein, I'm going to clear up that matter. Yeah, I'm going to use that platform because I just recently launched it to really sort of debunk common myths. So my first article was on carbohydrates, which is another complex topic, connecting protein, things like that. And I also do coaching, so nutrition coaching. If you are in London, that can be one-on-one in person, and if you're in another part of the world or the country, then I also do that online.
That's amazing. Guys, she's awesome. Make sure you check her out. When I'm on my Instagram, and I'm very selective about the people that I follow, she's so inspiring, and also the way that she produces her content, because it makes you think about things from a different point of view. She always says something, get your mat out. Even if you do it for 5 to 10 minutes, and how much it can do for your mental well-being, physical well-being, and spiritual well-being as well. And so guys, like I always say here at Mecca Mastery TV, we encourage you to become the greatest version of yourself in every area of life, so you go out into the world and kick a whole lot of action. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything, because you can do whatever you put your mind to. Remember, stay connected to your mind, your body, and your spirit. I'm sending my love, my peace, my gratitude your way. Until next time, see you in the next episode. Peace.